welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. Tech Talk is here to discover inspiring stories of student achievements, applaud the educators that got them there, and collectively work towards building a better community. In this episode, we will talk to Jordan, who is a junior in our welding technology program. We will also see if Jordan can become the teacher and teach me how to weld. Now it's time to welcome Jordan and Mr. Goodwin to Tech Talk. Jordan's going to give her experiences as a welding student and demonstrate her welding skills. Jordan, hello, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
So Jordan, first question, how do you spend your time as a student?
I spend a lot of my time studying for especially tests, like huge.
Takes a lot of time to do that, right?
Yeah.
What's the stress level like when you know you got a big event that you need to do well?
Well, I try to keep myself, kind of calm. I take a couple deep breaths before I start doing something like that. So
A lot of focus. I'm guessing there's a lot of focus and intensity when it comes to something, a performance event such as welding, right?
yeah.
I asked you earlier, think of 3 words that would describe the Tech Center. What 3 words did you come up with, and what do they mean to you?
I would say commitment, advancement, and opportunity.
Oh, tell me more.
So for commitment, you have to be pretty committed to what class you're taking, especially in LTCC, because, instructors, they are very committed to you, so you have to be committed to the skill as well. Advancement, you could always advance to a higher level of what you're doing, especially advancing to a career out of it once you get out of it. And opportunity, you have a lot of opportunities, especially in welding, because you can go travel weld, you could work at a local welding facility or something like that.
Yeah. Excellent. So what brought you to welding? How did you find welding? What do you enjoy about it?
So my dad welds at Tracker, so he was talking about that, and I just decided that might be something I wanted to do, and I really enjoy it.
Excellent. What are your plans or your goals? You're a junior now, so you got 1 more year to go, but it's going to be here before you know it. What are your plans after graduation?
So I've been thinking about going to OTC.
Okay.
I still haven't decided whether I wanted to do welding or not, but welding is a very good skill to have either way.
Absolutely.
So I might go to OTC and become a welder.
Excellent. Excellent. One thing I love to ask our students is to say thank you to your teacher. So Mr. Goodwin's right here. You spent some time with him this year. I'm sure he's challenged you and taught you all kinds of new things.
Yeah.
What thank you would you say to Mr. Goodwin?
Thank you for taking time out of your day to help me, especially with overhead welding and the amount of.
Yeah.
I like to make fun of you a lot, so thank you for putting up with that.
Yeah, pretty good sport. Pretty good sport, yeah.
And thank you for helping me become a better student and a better welder.
Appreciate that very much. Yeah. You make it, students like you make it really easy, They have that desire and that passion, and they want to learn something. Like you said, you're planning on going to OTC, and you might do welding or you might not. And either way you go, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay, because you do have that skill that you can lean back on later on in life if you want to. So, awesome.
And connections with experts in the field, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always a teacher, always a student, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, now time for the fun questions. If you could eat only one meal every day, it's got to be the same thing, every day for the rest of your life, what's it going to be?
My mom's grilled salmon.
Ooh.
It's so good. I love it.
Nice. I like it. What's one question that I didn't ask you yet that you wish I would have asked you, and then what's the answer going to be?
5 years down the road, where would I see myself?
Very good.
And your answer?
I see myself honestly becoming a welder.
Excellent.
I think that welding is a very fun thing. It takes a lot of focus, like what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a very good mindset, and it takes a very good environment, because if you don't like the environment that you're surrounded by, it wouldn't be a very good job for you.
Excellent. Excellent answer. So true. Okay, now the fun part. We have this in front of us. I want you to tell me more about what I'm looking at and how much work and energy goes into doing this. And here in a few minutes, you're going to teach me how to reproduce something similar, but more edible than metal.
So about from here to here is my horizontal position.
Okay.
So the plate is right in front of you, and you have to push your arc to the left. Since I'm right-handed, I would have to push it to the left. If you were left-handed, you have to push it to the right. So this is my horizontal. And then from that down, I've been working on my overhead position. So the plate is right above you, and you also have to push it. And it's difficult, I will say that. But
Which process is this that you're welding?
MIG
MIG.
welding.
Now,
GMA
what is
that
MIG?
MIG.
What does that mean?
When my parents kind of asked me these questions, or my mom specifically, if she asked me what each type of welding is, I kind of explain what they look like. So MIG welding, it just looks like a gun, and it has a trigger on it which feeds the wire.
Okay.
So
No, that's about right. I mean, you have your MIG gun and you have your wire and your trigger, and just like you talked about, 10 to 12 foot lead, wire runs through it, runs off a spool, and you've got to have that in the right position at all times to make sure you got a good weld. So,
Which one's easier, a MIG or a TIG?
I'd say MIG.
MIG.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Goodwin, how would you assess? I would not even know where to begin. So when you're teaching students the skill for each scenario or situation, how would you walk through and give feedback on the welds to students?
All right. So ultimately, we want a good, solid, good weld, right? Appearance, if you're looking at it for just a visual aspect, I mean, obviously appearance is everything. But I'm really looking at, is it a good weld? Okay. So when we're looking at them, we want to make sure the welds these are just overlapping beads that you're looking at right now. It's just a plate that started out as a 1/4 inch 6x6 plate. And this layers is all weld. I mean, it started out, and it's 1.5 inches thick now. So it's all just weld, just nice straight beads. Obviously, they got to be ran at the right voltage, and you got to have your wire speed right. They got to be nice overlap beads, straight, uniform, and just overall a good looking weld. But it has to be a good weld. It has to be a solid weld. It has to be able to hold together whatever you're welding together. So we're horizontals turned out really, really well. She's doing really well on them. Verticals, she's getting there. She's getting there, It's a learning process, and I would have to say that students take a little bit longer on different welds. Some students take forever on vertical. Some students, just for me personally, vertical is my hardest weld for me to do, even as an instructor, consistent every day. The overhead, Jordan is struggling with just a little bit, but she did make some big gains today. So I think by the end of this week, I'm hoping, very hopeful, that she will probably be moved on to something else by the end of this week. That's where I see it going. So
I know when I came into the shop, I'm amazed because I had no idea that this was different welds in different positions.
Right.
I'm clueless to welding. That's why you're going to teach me. But when I was watching the overhead, I was so amazed because they're literally like, for one, I don't know how you see what you're doing. By the time you put the mask on, and then to have that hand-eye coordination to reach out and up, that's super impressive to me because I would be absolutely all over the place. I mean, there's no way I could get anywhere near what you got. So
it takes a lot of hand-eye coordination. And that's something we can teach.
Yeah,
you can be gifted that, but it's something that we can teach. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's not as easy as some might think. Learning a skill like that, I mean, it takes a lot of time. You put a lot of time in the shop, and it takes a lot of work. So.
Yeah, it's not as easy as YouTube makes it look, I'm guessing. I'm about to find out, but that's my hypothesis. All right, so some welding terminology, welding definitions. Trying to learn more about this. Of course, I use the Google and the YouTube to figure out what to ask. I came up with some words, some terms. So one is torch angle. What is torch angle, and why does that impact or make a difference when you're welding?
So your torch angle is how you hold your gun or your stinger. So you could hold it at a 45-degree angle. You can hold it straight under, and it impacts your weld by, I'd say, how uniform your bead comes out.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if you have too much of an angle, you can get some undercut, underfill, things like that as well. So,
What about travel speed?
So your travel speed, it definitely impacts how well your bead turns out. If you travel too fast, you can come out with holes in your bead. If you travel too slow, you can burn holes through your material. So it definitely depends. So how your bead turns out definitely depends on your travel speed, 100%.
So I'm guessing if you just sit for too long, you're literally just going to
Yeah.
burn
Yeah.
right through.
Absolutely.
Basically.
See, I've already learned 2 new things. What about arc length? What is arc length, and why do we have it?
So arc length is how far you hold your MIG gun or your stinger away from the material.
Okay.
wide,
Yeah, it'd be
sunk in bead.
it'd
Okay.
be really you would see a groove down in your material. If
Okay.
you hold it too close, your bead can be really tall
Or
or really skinny.
you're going to stick.
Yeah.
You're going to stick it to the plate, and it's going to cut the arc completely out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like literally
Stuck.
not coming off.
Stuck to the
Oh my
plate. Yeah.
gosh. All right, last one. Wire feeding. What is that?
So wire feeding is how much wire you feed into your bead.
Okay.
So when you're MIG welding, the wire that goes through that is what goes into your bead.
Got it.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I don't know why I repeated that.
It's very important.
It is very important.
So if you feed too much wire into your bead, I'd say it would come out pretty.
Yeah, pretty tall, and you got
Yeah.
spatter all over your plate.
Yeah.
If
I
you don't
mean-
have enough wire,
If you don't have enough wire, then
kind of the same thing with having too
Yeah.
long of an arc length.
yeah.
Same thing. Gets real fat, and it just does not make a very desirable weld.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think I've learned enough of what little. Whew, it's going to be tough. I have a little exercise for you. I want to apply what we just talked about, okay?
Get
Give
ready.
me a second here.
Get ready.
All right. That's for you.
I've seen these on TikTok.
And there's some plates for you to work on.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Okay, Mr. Goodwin. There's your metal plates. And you, sir, get
Oh, boy.
This
that.
is why you said edible.
Yes. Cookie icing, white.
Okay. I want the both of you to teach me or show me torch angle. Torch angle. The goal to weld your graham cracker and icing or butter flavored crackers and cheese whiz.
He's doing teach me.
So torch angle. How can you use what you have to demonstrate that for me?
So you want to hold your graham cracker and your icing,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to have your angle back about 10 or 15 degrees.
Pretty good. Pretty steady hand right there. Now, Mr. Goodwin, I'm
Oh.
all about safety, so I have to recommend you put on
Oh,
your glasses,
glasses.
next time
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I definitely.
We
should
gotta
have
we
wore
gotta see how that
them.
works.
Yeah, I
It's
definitely
definitely
should have
not
wore
OSHA
them.
certified.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, definitely. Always got to be safe.
All right. Now I'm curious, would that be similar to the wire feeding when this being an aerosol? Could I kind of relate in my head too much wire coming out too fast with how this is going to shoot out of that can? What's going
So-
to happen?
Okay. So if I have it too far away,
Uh-huh. I might have bought like a really old
There
can.
you
there we go.
Oh, there it was.
Okay. So if you hold it too far away,
Uh-huh.
okay. Please.
We have to try the icing on that one. Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah.
See,
that's-
how I would represent
Oh.
that would be the spatter. That's how
Okay.
I would represent it.
So too far away, it's just going to go
Just-
on its own, go wherever it wants to go.
And if you hold it too close, this is different. If you hold it too close, see, the thingy is stuck in there.
Got
So
it.
you don't
I
want to
see
hold
that
it too
now.
close.
Okay, that makes way more sense to me.
Very
There's
good.
a lot of cheese.
Now what's a good bead look like on there?
Okay, let me get some different plates here.
Uh-huh.
So you gotta tack them together first. So you gotta, there you go.
I never knew I could use food to like learn more about
Right.
welding.
Yeah.
Now you gotta hold it. Okay, it's fine.
That's looking nice.
There we go.
There
That's
you go.
not bad. I'd give that
Let's
an
see.
A, but I know nothing about
Oh.
it. Though.
Is that uniform?
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty
Pretty
good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's a good A. Yeah. It's a good
All
A.
right. All right, next one. Show me travel speed.
So if you go too fast, please hold. Doesn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
So if you go too slow, put that on there. See, it gets.
It globs up and got
Mhm.
taller, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So visually, when you go too fast, the bead or the line, it looks like a nice, straight, clean line.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that's a safe or strong weld, I'm
Right.
guessing.
Yeah. There's not enough penetration in it.
Got it.
Yep.
Well, very cool. Thanks for teaching me how to weld. I feel much safer doing graham crackers and
Oh, yeah.
icing. Let's start to say sugar cookies there.
Yeah.
What's on my mind. Jordan, thank you so much. Mr. Goodwin, thanks for coming in
appreciate it.
and just teaching me and then our audience more what welding is, what it's like to be a student in today's world. Jordan, thank you again. And for the rest of you that are watching online, thanks for listening to Tech Talk. If you enjoyed today's podcast, you can find more episodes and see learning taking place in our building on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Lebanon Technology Career Center or on our YouTube page at youtube.com/@Lebanon Tech. Stay tuned for our next podcast. We will meet Andrew, a student in our computer repair and networking and project lead the way computer science programs. Thanks for watching.